Yo, what is up? What's up? What's up, my people? How are we doing? Welcome to another episode of Messi and Co. I am Gian, your host, and you're probably wondering, hey, where's Ashley? Yes, she's missing, but she'll be back. She'll be back soon. Don't worry about it. She's probably watching. She has quite the day today. Maybe she'll talk about it when she gets back next episode. But we're here. We're here to talk Inter Miami. We're here to talk Inter Miami. We have a special guest today. That special guest will be here pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. But how are you guys doing today? We have already people in the chat here. Aloha, friends. Aloha. Aloha, my buddy. How are you? How are you? How's everybody doing? Today, I am doing good. Today is Tuesday. We always do our episodes either Monday or Tuesday. I'm excited to talk about a ton of stuff that's going on with Inter Miami right now. Excited to talk about the game against Toronto. Excited to talk about Cincinnati tomorrow. Excited to talk about just there's actually so much going on around Inter Miami, just not the games, but also things going on in the media. I think that'll be kind of fun to talk about. We have Ash here. Good evening, hermanos. Good evening, Ash. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Today it'll be a little bit different just because of the fact that we don't have Ash today. Ash, she's really good at hosting this show. That's why she hosts it. She keeps us on top of target. She keeps us in the conversations. Today is going to be a little bit of me and Xavi. As soon as he jumps in, we'll be kind of just chopping it up, shooting the shit, just talking about stuff, and it'll be fun. It'll be a little bit of a more casual, different environment. So hopefully you guys like it. And I actually realized that I forgot to send Xavi the link. So I got to send him the link so he can jump on. It looks like he's ready to jump on any moment. So let me go and send that to him. But in the meantime, look, we got Francisco here. Francisco, what is up, buddy? How you doing? How you guys doing in chat? In the meantime, how did you guys feel about the Toronto game? Like, what was your overall? Are you guys happy with what you saw? Are you guys still like, oh man, this team sucks, we're in the gutter? Are you just how are you guys feeling overall about the Toronto game? Let me see. Let me send give me a second, guys. Hold on. Ash, glad we won, but we look to be on the same level with the bottom table team for the most of the game. I feel like there's always a caveat with this team. Anytime something happens, there's always a caveat. Obviously, we know against Toronto, they were down quite a few men. So give me a second, guys, real quick here. I'm going to send the link over to our friend Xavi Guerrero so he can go ahead and jump in right now. Let's see. You guys give me a second here. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and shoot him the link here. In the meantime, boss says, till Segovia only makes 300K. Meanwhile, Mura over here making 1.2 million. I know the salaries came out today. And as always, anytime salaries come out, I feel like there's a lot of questions, right? Like you realize how much some people are getting paid and how much some others aren't. And Mura is somebody that I really thought was going to be a big part of this team. And unfortunately, he has not lived up to expectations. The 1.2 million is a lot of money. Let me send this link over here. Okay. All right. Xavi's going to be jumping on any moment here. Happy with the result, though. Obviously, that's the thing for me. Like, I'm just happy with the result, honestly. I feel like, we weren't losing as much with Mascherano, but we also weren't winning, and the team wasn't looking as good as they should have, given the pieces that they had on the team. Just to see this team kind of take a turn with Hoyos, even though Hoyos in and of itself is he's quite the guy, quite the personality. I want to talk a little bit about that too, but at least the team seems to be trending in the right direction. You look at that Orlando game, and it was really crappy, obviously, but I feel like that's a small setback, not a major setback, not because the game wasn't important, but just because of the trajectory of the team. How, again, they went to Salt Lake, they went to Colorado, they won at away from home in 2 tough games, and they come back and, again, unfortunately, they tie at home, but then they come and beat this team at Toronto, and now they have a chance to play against Cincinnati and hopefully can continue to win. I just think they're all in the up and up, and that's important to me. Natalia, Hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you, Natalia? MLS average is 21 million. Liga MX average is 12 million. Is it really? I feel bad for David Ayala making that blunder. Yeah. We're going to talk about it. Xavi should be on any moment now. We're going to talk about that blunder and how I feel about that blunder. Honestly, I mean, just a quick preview. I just think like shit happens, right? Crap happens. Like at the end of the day, it's not something that you're going to see from him all the time. Also, you got to remember he hasn't gotten that much playing time as well. So, I mean, even me, I feel like I wouldn't. It's not like I don't know. I feel like most players are not going to make that mistake. Even I that don't play on that team, you're going to put me on that Inter Miami team, and it would never happen. I just think it's one of those one-off things. Like he's a professional player. The random things are going to happen. Like I'm not too focused on that, honestly. Total payroll per team, that is. Yeah, because what were you saying? That it's MLS averages 21 million. Liga MX averages total. Wait. You would think that MLS, that Liga MX has a higher average. What do you mean? Because usually they have players they have better players and they sign players that are worth more money. Like, am I reading that right, or am I saying that wrong? Maybe I'm saying it wrong. He needs more playing time, yeah. And Hoyos, who isn't even rated as a coach, has us playing much better. Yeah, I think he's making us play much better. I think it's interesting to see how Suarez has fit into this team now and how he's playing better. Suarez, you thought that he was going to get no minutes, and now he's become a starter over Tadeo Allende. So I think that's interesting. Give me a second here, guys. Let me check something real quick here. Let me see it. All right. Mascherano was wrong fit for this team in the first place. Let him coach a Getafe type team. Look, the thing about Mascherano was this. Look, I'm not going to say that he was a terrible coach. I think that he was just too early on in his career to get a job of this magnitude, right? It's like he coached Argentina. He didn't do the job at Argentina. And then he comes here to not a club that was a project, but a club that was ready to win and had to win, especially given the names on the team. You talk about Messi, Jordi Alba, Busquets, Suarez. Like this was a team it wasn't a project team, right? So I just felt like it was just too early on in his career. But at the same time, it's like you can't blame him. Like if you give him that opportunity to come to Inter Miami, like what coach in the world is not going to say yes to the opportunity to coach Messi? So it's not on Mascherano, it's more on the team, I think, giving Messi maybe too much power, which is crazy to say that you're going to give the best player in the world too much power. But I feel like you can at times, and that's maybe hurt Inter Miami a little bit. We're going to go ahead and bring on Xavi here. I'm excited about this. So, Xavi, what is up? How are you?
Good.
Doing good. Welcome.
Appreciate it, brother.
It's good to have you on. Yeah, we were just chatting it up here a little bit, just talking a little bit about Mascherano. Mascherano continues to make waves here. We saw that he recently spoke in Mexico, first time we've seen him in a bit. So, and then talking about Hoyos, and I didn't really want to get too much into the game yet because I was waiting for you so that we can go ahead and talk about that. But anyways, how you doing? How's your Tuesday?
Good. I mean, like I told you, I was running around trying to get here. It started raining over here. It's going crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, there's no rain here. It's starting to get gray here down south in the Kendall area. I know you're more up north.
Yeah, you're further down. Yeah, I was in Fort Lauderdale and I was in Davies. In Davies when it poured, and now I came home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, dude. From 5 to now, I was running around, and you know how traffic gets at this time.
No. It's crazy. I'm surprised you even got here on time. So, but I'm glad you're here. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to chop it up with you a little bit and just talk about. There's quite a few things going on with Inter Miami. Obviously, we're going to talk about the game against Toronto. I want to talk a little bit about Cincinnati, and then there's always like, I mean, I don't know if this happens with other teams, but it just seems to me like anytime it's Inter Miami, there's so many extracurricular things going on. Like it's not just football. There's just like everything going on. So
La novela. We're down in Miami. This is, you got the Channel 23, Channel 51 novela going on all the time.
It is. It's like La Casa de los Famosos. I feel like sometimes there's always crazy things going on. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of those extracurricular things too. I thought it'd be fun to talk about that. But bueno, first, let's go ahead and talk about Inter Miami and talk about the game against Toronto. I want to talk a little bit about that and get your thoughts. We'll talk about the game itself, how you felt about that game, some of the performances, and let's start off with, I guess, with the first half. The first half, it's crazy to say a 4-2 game. It starts off, I think, more on the side of Toronto, who was missing, Xavi, like what, 8-7 players, including their DPs and their TAM players. I mean, this was a team that didn't have their best players on there, and they start off and I think throughout the first maybe 14 or 20 minutes or so, they got about 4 shots on goal. One was a free kick that was an easy stop for Dane St. Clair, and then the other 3, were kind of close. I think that game early on could have kind of maybe been a little bit more difficult for Inter Miami, but nonetheless, Inter Miami, still hanging around. I think Messi gets a free kick he misses, but then the following free kick, another free kick, it's Messi and it's Debacle. So let's go ahead and start there. Messi and Debacle on the ball. Why would you think that Debacle is going to shoot a free kick when you got Messi? Messi gets every free kick, and then Debacle shoots. He's aiming for, it was on the right side of the field. He's aiming for the near post. He hits la pared. It rebounds, and then he shoots it back. He gets his rebound and shoots for the far post and scores un golazo, like just disgusting golazo. That was kind of unexpected, right? Like I wouldn't think that Paul is going to shoot a free kick. Like, what do you think is going on there?
Oh, that has to be something. You remember, they're buddies. So if anybody was going to get a chance like that, it was probably him. So they might have discussed it. He might have brought it up at some point where they're talking like, hey, hook me up. Let me get one, man. At least let me get one. But Depaul has a good shot. I mean, you said off the rebound on the wall, he hit a magnificent shot, magnificent strike. He timed it perfectly. He saw it, and he has powder in that foot. We've seen it before. Like when he has time and space, he takes good shots on goal. From distance too, which is fantastic. Which we need to do. The Inter Miami needs to do it. But I think that's something they might have discussed at some point, and they just said, "Oh, let's do it. Screw it. It's
got to be like I feel like he's found his shot from outside. That's something that we've seen over the last few games. He's gotten a few from outside. He's scored them, and then I think that's getting confidence, bringing confidence to his side. Where he hasn't scored all of them. He scored 2, and then I think he's gotten a few more shots from outside the box that were saved by the goalkeeper that were on their way into the goal. So maybe that plays a little bit into that. I feel like too. It's like, hey, like you seen me shooting Messi, like let me get a shot at this. So
he's getting his rhythm. He's getting a little bit of a rhythm now. He's playing a little further up. He's running a little bit more. I think he's feeling more comfortable with Bright. In the midfield with Segovia, they have more confidence in them too. So allows him to like free flow more and get closer to Messi and try to figure it out. And now that you have Suarez up there, all the gang's back together, so it's easier for them to play. So I think he is feeling himself a little bit more. He's feeling a little more confident, and he knows he has a good shot, and he needs to show something, right? Because people are criticizing him for coming here, for being here, for this close to the World Cup, discounting this league. So he needs to show a little bit, and I think he has. He has 3 goals. I don't know if he has 3 assists. I don't remember how many assists he has. So he's stepped up a little bit. What he needs to do is stop being so annoying, nagging, and arguing all the time with the stinking refs. He's gotten a little bit better with the I was gonna say the staff, with the other players, because he treats them like staff. He's cheating them out all the time, but. Wagan's not here anymore because that was his favorite guy, but he's playing better. He just needs to chill out a little bit.
Which is funny. You talk about Chelo, and and we talked about if he was an Inter Miami guy, was he at the caliber of being here on this team? And then he's over there and playing Libertadores as a starting right back for Boca Juniors. It's just funny how
he got a bad rap a lot. I mean, but it's that he's funny. Some of these guys is that they lose focus at times, right? Like when I don't know if you remember the very first game. I think we were up there in the press. The very first game, he had just gotten off the plane, right? He gets off the plane the next day. He comes and he played fantastic. He was going up and down the line. He was defending well, crossing. We're like, oh, wow, what do we have here? Amazing. And, and then he dropped to his mean, to his average. But he's not a bad player. Look at Mura. Mura has not shown anything. Really spectacular. And today, I was looking at the player salaries and all this stuff and these guys that came in and how much the other guys are making, how much Bright is making. And these guys are all coming in, haven't done anything. And they're making twice, 3 times as much money as some of the younger guys here. So I wonder, they have to see this too because it's public. I wonder how much that affects the locker room at this point, because like if you're Ian Frey, you're making 450, and Mura's making, I think it was 1.2, I'm not sure what. And Mura's not twice as good as Frey. He shouldn't even be starting with Frey in my. So props to the Argentinian agents that they sell players at a very high price and they get them really good salaries, man. They do their job. They do a good job.
No, yeah, 100%. I feel like you read that and you see, what the hell, this guy's getting paid 10 times more than me. And that's, and Yannick Bright, I mean, should probably be one of the top paid on the team. If you're going to go by what they do on the pitch, like that's quite the difference between him and Mura. And I think Yannick Bright even, I got to look into it, but I feel like Yannick Bright a couple of seasons ago was making like 80K.
He was like 60 something. Yeah, he was making the minimum. He was making like some guy, some manager at Walmart or something.
Yeah, and I was talking to my wife about that the other day. I'm like, I mean, because I don't know what the conversation was about their salaries and I was like, look, a lot of people make more than Yannick Bright's making, like, and that's just insane. So. But
he needs to get another agent, man. I think I'm gonna have to get into the business. I'm gonna have to get into
for real. You can get him a lot of money.
FIFA agent.
No, but that also speaks to I think when you look at 1.2 for Facundo Mura, and you realize.
Did you see it? I don't recall. I saw it briefly. I haven't gone into detail. I'm gonna go into detail and do a story about it because I found that fascinating. That all these guys that come from over there haven't proven anything, and they get paid all this money. Then they come here and they're not any superstars.
Yeah, meanwhile, Mura makes over $1.2 million, which is it's crazy. But I also think
Segovia 300K. Segovia is one of the top players in this team. It's Messi, DePaul, possibly Segovia. Like he's that important right now for his team, and he gets paid 300K. He's a bargain. And then if they sell him, they're gonna make a killing. And they do that, with some of these guys, these local guys. I mean, they brought him from outside, I know. But some of these guys like Toto and guys that they're bringing, the Argentine guys, they're getting them at a expensive, let's say price, and they're what they've offered, the value has not been there for this team.
Yeah, but the Facundo Mura thing is different. I think the Facundo Mura was starting right. He was a starting right back for a Racing team that was playing really, really good. That was battling at the top of the league in Argentina. They were playing Libertadores, like. At least from what I had read before Facundo Mura actually got here, like the fans were saying that he was a really good player. Like,
homie, you check out the Argentinian league. Everybody's una joya, la joya de Racing, la joya de no sé qué, la joya de no sé cuándo. Everybody's una joya. I think the joya is those bling bling chains that they try to sell you on the metro rail station, right? Everybody cannot be a joya. The Argentine players are very well regarded and very, very good in Europe, right? So all those Joyas are over there. Look, they sold Mastretono, I forgot his name, to Real Madrid. They ripped them off for the money. Everybody's not a Joya. It's gotten to a point now anybody's a Joya. So you can't play everybody like a Joya. You have to pay, and that means jewel. I'm saying it in Spanish, to the people that don't speak Spanish. So everybody's not a jewel. Everybody's not a jewel, and you understand that the Argentine player is a high commodity because they're proven players. They go young and they start performing young and they're really good. But now it's gotten to a point where anybody comes up and you got to pay premium price. And Inter Miami has paid premium price for these guys. But thank goodness we got a steal. Look at Segovia. if Mura, I don't care how if he was a starter over there. If Mura's worth 1 point whatever, what is Segovia worth? If
they're
Mura's
gonna
worth 1 point whatever, what is Bright worth? And I'm picking on
they
Mura right
decide
now.
to sell them.
I'm
They're gonna
picking
make
on
a
Mura,
killing.
but we can talk about Allende, and keep going there. You know who got a pay cut was our main man Suarez. Everybody attacks him and all that, but the guy came here with busted knees. People were talking crap about him. First season was fantastic. Had a good season last year, and then tailored down, and he had a cut in pay to continue with the team this season. He didn't have to do that. Guy of his stature and his hierarchy and his history, right? But he did it, and he's performing. I don't think he should be the starter, obviously, but
well, I mean, that just speaks to Allende and his struggle too, and apparently
How much is Allende making? Allende's making bank too. I think he's making like 1.5 or something like that.
No, Allende's making a ton. I think what you're saying here basically is that Inter Miami are the tourists that are walking down the streets of Rome, and they walk into these stores, which are the Argentinian stores, and they try to upsell them on things and saying, hey, this is Roman quality, this is this quality, and instead of negotiating and say, hey, instead of giving you 100, I'll give you 50, I'll give you 25, they just buy it because it's Roman, it's Argentinian.
There's got to be a connection. There's a connection from the inside. And one of the reporters, I'm not gonna say his name, was like trying to ask Hoyos, hey, who makes the sporting decisions, who's bringing, because he kind of like slipped and said that there was like several people, but then later on, when they asked him again,
that's just trying to get the blame off of him. Is
right. But once again, when they asked him, he said, "Well, the names are not in place yet. We're trying to do it, blah blah blah." But we all know that he was the guy that brought people in, and sometimes it's just a connection, and you bring people in. There's maybe you feel familiar with the player.
That's 100%. That's one thing that people don't realize too. It is a lot about the connections, and we've even seen that in like national teams, right? Where you see some of these players. It probably happened in Colombia, happened in Ecuador. All the time. There's players that are making it to the national team, and you're like, how the hell is this player? And it's the agents, and you send them to the national league. I mean, not the national, to the men's team. And then you can sell them for twice as much after.
The price goes up. Yeah,
it's just how it works.
We're not saying anything new. But I just found it, interesting. I'm sorry I broke the format there, but I found it interesting once they dropped the money thing like that, and you're looking at like these young guys that are kind of performing and are doing pretty decent. Man, that's got to affect you as an athlete. That you go there and you're like, man, I'm playing big time minutes and I'm doing good things here, and I'm getting paid half.
That can actually cause rifts within
unless the locker room is very strong, very united, and they feel that they're gonna make that money up.
Yeah,
making conspiracies. No, that's not a conspiracy.
No, who said that's conspiracy?
No, right here, they have better academies and better world class players. Clearly, yeah, we said that there's what I said was everybody's not a jewel. It's not a conspiracy. You can't buy everybody at jewel price. They sold, was it Facundo Farias? They showed Hoya. They sold the guy Hoya. Everybody's not a jewel, and that's not a conspiracy. It's a fact. Everybody cannot be a jewel. Everybody in Brazil is not a jewel. You can't pay premium price for every player.
But
we're getting a second tier. We're getting second tier players. The top players are going to Europe. We got lucky with Diego Gomez, who came in at a decent price, and it wasn't that cheap either. And then we get Toto. Who was that? Said the conspiracy. Toto Aviles. Is that a conspiracy? He was the most expensive defender when they bought him in the league. Is that a conspiracy? No, they got ripped. There was no reason to pay that amount of money.
I don't think, honestly, Shai, I don't think that's going to change. I just think it's always there's always going to be a premium. There's always going to be a premium for Argentinian players
but get your money worth.
That's money worth. But at the same time, look, I'll say this since we're talking about Facundo Mura. My thought on Facundo Mura is that I still think
he's a good player.
That he has the skills to, and I think he is a good player. Here's my problem. I think that when you come to Inter Miami, it's the same thing that happens sometimes when you go to Real Madrid, for example. You've seen some of the best players in the world go to Real Madrid, and they look like half the player they were before they went to Real Madrid. And I feel like that's happened with some of the players here at Inter Miami. Now, not to say that Inter Miami hasn't made players better. They have, but there are players that have come here and suffered. And Facundo Mura, for example, I think is one, because you clearly see that it's taking him time to adapt to the team, but also they don't play to his strengths. They don't give him the ball as often as they should. There are times where I'll see Debacle or I see Messi look at that side, Facundo Mura's open, and they rather play the ball to the left. They rather play the ball to the middle. So, but that's also, I think,
there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors.
Mura as well too. Yeah, there's different things. I don't want to crap on Mura either. I do think genuinely he's a good player, but circumstances, I think, are a big thing for players. They may be as good as they are, but if they're not put into the right positions in the right circumstances, they're going to look way below their means or their average. One of the things I want to talk about is going back to the game. Inter Miami 1-0 at the half. I want to talk about this play specifically, the second goal for Inter Miami, that I thought was pretty interesting. There was a lot of noise around it. It's the one where Toronto has the ball near their area. It's on their left side, where their left back, Raheem Edwards, has the ball. He clashes with Facundo Mura. Facundo Mura clashes with him. Raheem Edwards stays on the floor. There's no whistle. Toronto continues to play out of the back. They make, I think it's like 3 passes, consecutive passes. They run into the attack. They're on attack. They're not stopping. They're not asking for the ball to get. They don't kick the ball out themselves. They don't do anything.
That's the key right there. That's the key right there.
Recovers the ball. He gives it to Debacle. Debacle puts in the pass to Messi. Messi puts in the pass to Suarez, and Suarez scores the goal. And basically, if you look back at that play, Messi and Suarez looked like they were offside. I mean, they were basically standing behind that back line.
No, I knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing. But off of the eye test, you would have thought, right, that they looked offside.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But all the way in the back, Raheem Edwards is just laying on the ground. And it's funny that right once they lose the ball and once Suarez is about to score, that's when Toronto starts lifting their hand up, throw the ball out, yet they attacked without any issues. So I guess here's what I want to post to you, because to me, it's I see this from different angles. One, we have an Inter Miami reporter that specifically tweeted and said this. He said, if Inter Miami had done the same thing, if another team had done the same thing to Inter Miami fans would have been in an uproar or something to that extent, right? Not that is exactly.
They only give half the story, right?
And there's half the story. So what I say to that is, number one, Toronto had all the time in the world to kick the ball out 100%. If they thought that their player was injured. Number two, Inter Miami is playing the whistle. The referee never blows the whistle. And before I give it to you, I was reading something on EFAB, right? They're the ones that are in charge of the rules. And here's what they said. They said, if a player is injured but no foul offense is committed and the ball remains in play, the referee should A, stop the play if the player is injured or appears to be serious. So number one is the qualification is it has to appear that it's serious. Also, if they're allowed to play if the player is or appears to be only slightly injured, right? So if the player seems to be slightly injured, that's the ref's call. He can continue to let the ball play. And to me, the referee, if you look back at that play, was like 3-4 yards. He had perfect view. He didn't think the player was injured. So there's just a lot of things going on there. I have no issue, Xavi, with what Inter Miami did there. It was a perfect legal play.
100%. And it all starts with what you said. They were on the attack, and they never took it out. If they on that attack would have scored, nobody would have said, "Oh, this guy's injured. We shouldn't have scored." No, they played through that, and the referee allowed the play because he's way off to the side, has no effect on the action that's happening. And like you said, I guess he didn't deem him seriously injured. So I have no issues with Inter Miami then when they recovered the ball, doing the quick counter, getting it up and scoring and taking advantage of situation, because they were supposed to kick it out themselves. That's what you're supposed to do. Your guy's injured, you have the ball, you look, you kick it out and you stop, and everybody stops. But they did not do that. So they didn't do anything that was not proper or ethical or unethical or soccer etiquette. They did what they were supposed to do. You continued play when your man was down. We got it back, and now we made you pay the price. and our guy Suarez made him pay the price. Nothing wrong with that. And then remember, everybody from Orlando up in MLS dislikes Inter Miami. They're the villains, the bad boys, los malos, whatever you want to call it, la novela, whatever you want to call it. And it's not like I'm making that up. You see the comments, and some of them use the word. They're like, "Oh, I hate this plastic team." And like they use the word "I hate," and which is a little exaggerating, right? When you're talking about teams and stuff. But I read the comments all the time, and I laugh because I'm thinking, well, these people take this thing like extremely serious, and then kind of, I think it's kind of a reflection of what they think of the state in general and the people down here in our area, and we don't really care. That's the same thing for the Hurricanes. It's just the only team that doesn't get that slack, I guess, is the Dolphins because they've sucked for like 30 years. But it's just I'm used to it, right? Anything Miami gets bad press and like, gets hate.
No,
nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with what it was.
No. There's a perfect legal play, and like I said, if anybody has beef with anybody, it's anybody but Inter Miami. I mean, anybody but. Blame the rules, blame the ref,
blame your own teammates. Blame your own teammates because they had to. It's known. It's Curtis. Boom, your guy's down. You knock it out. And what happens? Fair play. Inter Miami gets the ball, throws it back into them. That's the way it's supposed to be. They did not do that. They violated that first rule. You know what? It's open season. You lost the ball. Don't cry now that your man's down. You're screwed. And Miami did what they needed to do. They scored on that play. It was beautiful to see.
Beautiful. So that makes it 2-0. Inter Miami at that point is still on a roll. They're scoring 2-0. And then comes a beautiful goal, not only because of the shot, but I feel like the build-up was awesome. And it also comes from a player that we expected to not necessarily take Jordi Alba's spot, but at least give you some of that back that you're going to be missing with Jordi Alba. I'm going to talk about Reguilón. Sergio Reguilón was supposed to be a big part of this team, unfortunately plagued with injuries. Unfortunately hasn't gotten the time that he wishes he had, injured early on in the season, then comes back, gets injured again. He was interviewed today just talking about how crappy that whole situation has been for him. And it's insane. And look, that's one of the things that I love Noah Allen. To me, Noah Allen represents and embodies what this team is. He's been captain before the team.
He's a homegrown,
and he'll, for as long as he's here, I don't know how much longer he'll be here. But for as long as he's here, he's going to be one of the top guys. But one of the things that he doesn't have, and at no fault of his own, he has his strengths. He's not necessarily he didn't have the attack that Jordi has. He doesn't have the attack that Reguilón can give you. And we know that
people do. Very few of the team do.
And we know that Messi, how much he benefited from having an attacking partner down that left side, right? And bringing in Reguilón and seeing him score this goal to me was like, damn, that's what this team was missing. Basically, minute 74 or actually 72, Reguilón, he wins the ball back on Toronto's side, and he makes a great run, basically crossing the entirety of the field, started from that left side, going towards the middle, towards Messi, drops the ball off to Messi, keeps making a run into space. Messi reads it, places the ball right back to Reguilón, and Reguilón just with a perfect finish. And that made me excited because if he can stay on the field, Xavi, I feel like this is going to open just a completely new.
That was a precious goal. It was a precious goal. And the thing about these guys is not only is he technically, above, technically physically above the level of, most of these guys in the league. Also, it's the mentality. It's what you get from these top players is the mentality, right? That ball was kicked out, and he just, he was just too slick for that defender. He won it from him easily. He took it. He knew where to place it. Messi gave him the ball. He turns around and with his off foot, with his weak foot, places it in the corner. Fantastic. And I'm not trying to pick on this guy, but if it was Berterame, which is his right leg, he might have hit it and hit the pole with the bad luck that he's had so far, right? Because he's missed like 7 or 8 up. This guy with his weak foot places it perfectly. This shows you the level and the caliber of player that you have. And he needs to be, it was just that stinking tackle they did to him in the preseason. My observation is, he got hurt and they brought him back too fast. And then if you don't heal, it's always going to be lingering. So I hope that this time he's healed, okay? Because he's been hurt even before he came to the team. So
he didn't play for what, like a year? I think it was. He hadn't played for a long time.
Yeah. So what they need is they need to keep this guy going, but don't stress him out. Keep him for the end of the season. Keep him alive for the end of the season. If you need to play regulate the minutes or whatever. But my guys, look, my four in the back, because St. Clair's not going anywhere. I don't know if there's any Rocco lovers here, but St. Clair's not going anywhere. So because he left money on the table to come here, he's the starter. But my guys is Reguilón, Lujan, which I was pushing this year for Lujan because of Falcon's been not too good. Mikael and Frey. Those are my four guys in the back, and I think that's our strongest four as far as attacking and putting pressure on the other team and being solid defenders too.
No, 100%. I would share that same opinion with you. That's the strongest back four you have. Ian Frey continues to show how important he is to this team, not only defensively, but he also brings something down that right side. I mean, not only with his crosses, but also sometimes he goes into the middle and he's ready to head the ball in. We've seen him score that, and I think that's going to help us a lot. And then Reguilón, yeah, maybe they brought him back too early. Who knows? I think that they've.
That was just my impression of from being up close and seeing and. Like I know in one of the practices that I was there when he returned, I think it was the first time where I saw him and you could tell he was kind of limping, and he was wearing his brace and stuff, but he didn't look right. And then I think that's the game where he like pulled a hamstring or something like in the leg. Because his leg was
that's happened with other players too. I felt like I feel like other players have returned from injury too quickly. It's something that I feel like Inter Miami has done with a couple other players.
They're not trusting the younger guys. They got a lot of these young guys. They keep them on the roster for the game, and then they don't play them. And I think they need to take advantage of this point of the season and play some of those guys. To have our older veteran guys ready and fresh for the end. You need to keep playing Berthe. Because Berthe is going to bust out. I knock him because he hasn't finished, but he does. He does so many important things for the team. Like when he's up there, he's running and running for 2 or 3 guys because he has to cover sometimes for Messi, sometimes for Suarez. He puts pressure and he gets in the right position. He gets in the right position. He just hasn't finished, and he still has 3 goals. 3 goals.
The problem is that's what they pay him for, though. They pay him to finish, and that's the issue. And it's a similar story to the Allende story. It reminds me so much of the Allende story last season, where he continued to, like Allende last season, continued to get into the right spots, made the right runs, found the spaces, and just couldn't get the finish. And there's somewhere where easy tap-ins that you're just incredulous. You're like, how the heck did this guy miss that?
Part 2 is this part 2 the sequel.
Part two Berterame 100%. So but the moment you unlock it and he at least, what does he scored 3 times in maybe the last 5 or 6 games, I think, something like
scored
that.
And he has 3 assists, so he has
assists, and he helps tremendously on defense as well. He's a guy that tracks back, which is incredible. So once he starts scoring more of those chances,
I think he's gonna bust out. He's gonna bust out like
it's also like. Tell me how you feel about this. I feel like part of it too is just he's playing in a different role than he did in Mexico. Like in Mexico, he was at times the main guy. He was more in the middle. Here he's having to find his space. He's battling Messi and Suarez basically for the same space in the middle. So I think that's tough as a player.
Absolutely, and it's a different style of play. Yeah, he's been asked to do different things. So overall, I think he's been adequate. Not for 15 million, right? But he's here for the long term. At least that's what Mascherano said when he used to be the boss. So we got to give him the season at least. Let's see at the end of the season. Would you guys be happy if at the end of the season he has 10 goals? He has 10 goals, 6 assists. Would you be happy if he had 15 goals?
You know what the issue is? The price tag. That's why it's not that simple. 10 goals and you look at.
So they got to be important goals. No, we'll give them the 10 goals, but they're going to be 10 important goals.
I mean, look.
championship.
Look what Suarez did that first season with 2 broken legs. He was like Mr. Potato Head running around the field with his limbs falling off, and he, I mean, what did he score? How many goals? Almost 20 goals or something like that. I mean,
look, boss daddy here saying he's not going to bust out. He doesn't even touch the ball in offense. He has 10 shots on target in 12 games. Yeah, but you know what? Out of the 10 shots that he has, and they were right in front of the goal. I mean, he's missed 7 tap-ins, like 7 balls that you don't understand how he missed it. So he would have 8, 9, 10 goals already.
Well, you know what's funny? I hear about these. Have you heard about these complaints about Messi not assisting? I mean, it's not. I mean, you heard about that, right, Xavi? How people were talking about how
when he didn't have any assists,
he has no assist, had no assists, and I'm like,
but he had 5 goals at that point. Yeah, he had 5 goals and 0
assists. I mean, he can't pass and score. You know, when you look at some of these misses with Allende's back to, you know, he regressed, unfortunately, in part because of the lack of the preseason, the injuries, and that sort of thing. But he's regressed. Berterame still not where he should be. Those are guys that are missing some of these assists that Messi would have gone. But at the end of the day,
don't compare Suarez to Berté, Pepto Bismol. Don't compare Suarez to Berté. Suarez, even at this point in his career where he can barely walk, he still weighed quality, much more quality, and mentally, just at a different level than these guys. He just can't run anymore, unfortunately. But you put him. That's why I want him just 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Put him up top when the moment is important. When you need the guy to be able to touch with Messi, the guy to finish. That's where I would have him playing. But yeah, you can't compare. Suarez is a different level. He's just, you know, he's gone down because his age and the injuries that he has.
No, look, so we're at 3-0 at this point in the game. Then our boy Messi comes in minute 74, makes a run down the middle. He drops it off to Rodrigo de Paul. Rodrigo de Paul making that run down the right-hand side. Rodrigo de Paul gets the ball. Messi continues right down the middle. Rodrigo de Paul, he's making a run down the middle, and he breaks right as he gets in the middle to create space like he often does. Like, he doesn't just keep going down and waiting for the pass. He literally breaks. The defenders continue moving forward. That allows the space for Rodrigo de Paul to make that pass right into the middle, and just a beautiful goal. And what I liked about this goal, Xavi, was it reminded me so much about that partnership on that left with Jordi Alba, because it was basically a mirror goal that you would see last season with Jordi, but now on the right-hand side. And you haven't seen that often from Rodrigo. Rodrigo making a run down the right. Usually it's Ian Frey, or it's going to be Tadeo Allende. In this case, Rodrigo does it, and he knew exactly where to place that ball for Messi. It was just, I mean, it was perfect. And the GOAT, man, Messi, just continues to score goals in this game. 1 goal, 2 assists. I mean, what an incredible game.
He makes it look so easy. But you know what's the most interesting thing here is everybody knows, everybody knows Messi's the guy, right? So there's 2 guys running up with him, and he touches his out, and then he always finds a space. He knows where to go. He steps back, and these guys are looking somewhere else. They're looking at the ball. Man, you got to know where this guy is at all times. You have to know where Messi is. And we say it, but he just like floats on the pitch and like just loses people somehow. I don't know how, but you knew that was going to happen. It's him and Rodrigo, you know, the quality.
The defenders are always like, I mean, the defenders,
they get lost in the space.
And then they point at each other. I thought you had him. I thought you had him. And I'm like,
Rodrigo puts it right there. And then you saw how he turned his leg. Like, fantastic. The way he just whacked it, you know.
Is that image that shows it looks like his leg is going to break off?
Yeah, it's amazing how easy he makes it look, right? It's amazing. And I'm amazed that 100 goal contributions, 31 games less than, you know, that Jovinko, right? So Suarez can find 31 games less than the next guy. And he's 38, going to be 39. It's amazing. So that's why you need Rodrigo to be a little bit looser and closer up there, and that's why it helps Suarez, right? Those guys can, with that triangle, touch it around, and then you can have Segovia and Bright.
If they Suarez is going to be 39?
No, Messi is going to be 39.
Suarez is what, 37, maybe 38, something like that?
He's around there, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy still at his age playing. I mean, it reminds me of like LeBron James spends like what I think it's like $1 million on his body. You think Suarez and Messi? Suarez probably spent around.
Messi for sure has from a certain point done that. You know, with the food and you see his body physically. He got stronger. You can tell he's
Suarez maybe 1,000 a year maybe on his body. You think?
leave that man alone, man. Leave that man alone. Let him. You know what? I think
most of it is big Saporu.
I think because of him, Inter Miami is going to do the back-to-back. I think because of him, so? and he's going to be the motivation. He's going to be the motivation because Messi's going to tell him, you know what? I'm gonna win this one for you. I'm gonna let you go out. You know,
send you off on a winning note.
Yeah, he's gonna limp off, but he's gonna limp a champion.
I'm surprised Suarez still doesn't have a sponsorship deal with like Ben Gay or something like that. You would think that he would have gotten something like that. Or
what are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say?
I just think that it's incredible. You see his body, his knees buckle every play, and still he's scoring like these incredible goals.
That's how much he loves the game, and that's how good he is. I'm telling you, these guys not only are they talented technically, but mentally, and the understanding of the game is levels above the other guys. That's why they can still do it.
Yeah,
of course he should lose weight. I mean, I'm sure he knows it too.
You know, he knows it, but we still keep seeing pictures of him at his asados and stuff like that. But all right, so Inter Miami 4-0. At this point, you think it's smooth sailing. And then, you know, David Ayala, who honestly hasn't had a lot of playing time, gets the ball in our area.
How much is he getting paid? How much is he getting paid? You got it there? I'm not picking on him. Is that all these guys they brought in with high expectations, and so far they've been only Mikael from the new guys has kind of been standoutish, and St. Clair's starting to play better now. But everybody else, they came in to reinforce the team and to make it stronger. They haven't really done that yet.
Is that what we should do before analyzing every player to see how much they're getting paid, just to see how harsh we have to be on every? Oh, this guy's only getting paid
just this show because the stuff just came out. So I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna write an article about it. And
David Ayala, honestly, before the season, there was conversation of whether he was going to start over Yannick Bright. Right. I mean, it was because he had done so well. 770.
Okay. And Bright is making 450. So he's making 320 more. He's making exactly he's making Segovia more, because Segovia, somebody wrote, is making 300. So he's making a Segovia more than Bright.
But look, he hasn't gotten much playing time. I know he had some injuries as well, but he gets the ball in the area. He tries to cross the ball to the other side of the field. Unfortunately, completely whiffs and basically gives a free goal to Toronto.
A blooper.
And all I'll say to this is, like, I'm sorry, but there's not. I mean, crap happens, man. At least that's the way I see it. It
happens.
What is he gonna do? I mean, it just.
Reguilón put him in a bad spot because I give part of the blame to him because he had 4 options, but the clearest one, the easiest one, and it's easy for me to say here, down the line, give it to Burton, make his ass run, or maybe he saw Suarez on that side and didn't want to give it to him, but he turned back and then he had who was it on was it Mikael? He had somebody here and then he had someone towards the middle and then he had Ayala, and Ayala was around 2 guys. And the other 4 behind went to Kroos, the goalie. So, like, he gave it to him a little bit stressed. I think he was a little stressed, and he had time to turn. He just whiffed it. But I would have wished for Reguilón to just go, you know what? Beep. Up. Hey, let me just get it up there.
Sometimes if you've played football, I know that you play canchita sometimes, right? But I don't know if you ever played 11-11. Maybe you have. I used to play 11-11. But one of the things they teach you always is the easiest pass. Look for the easiest pass. Sometimes you overcomplicate it, and
that's on any pitch. That's on any size pitch. It's up, where you got to dribble a lot of spaces. But any kind of game is talking about football is make the easy play, right? And that's the hardest thing to do, to make it easy. I got it. You're there. Boom, go. Oh, let me move over here. Let me move over there. Oh, let me give you some space. Let me get back so I can give you a better angle. It's just do the easy thing and keep it moving. But it's hard. But
at the end of the day, I chalk this one up to things. I mean, I'm not going to be harsh on the Ayala. Crap happens, man. It's just it it happens. So, but anyways, 1-0 at that point, minute 81, you still feel like you're in control. It's 4-1. All of a sudden, minute 89, Rillon is on that left-hand side. He's left alone, basically, to cover Malik Henry and Kobe Franklin on that left side.
Terrible.
And unfortunately, Franklin has the ball, has all the time to look up, nobody pressuring him. And he places a really good center into Emilio I'm going to butcher this, but Aristizabal, who
Emilio
basically
Aristizabal, I think he's the son of Victor Hugo Aristizabal, Nacional legend from Medellin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his son. I haven't confirmed it, but I'm pretty sure that's his son because I remember his son was playing, and I lost track of him. So I don't know if that's his son or not. I have a
maybe
I would because that's not a super common last name.
No, some of those names.
And it's with, and he came up with Nacional. Oh, so he is, yeah. So it's confirmed. My guy Francisco Garcia here. So and the kid's rated. So he made a nice shot. But me, that goal pisses me off more for what you said. There was nobody pressuring the ball. Nobody. That guy placed it. It was a beautiful pass, right? And it was a beautiful header.
Emilio jumps between Lujan and Mura though too, so I think there's two errors there. I mean, you've got pressure.
They lost it in the air. Yeah, there you have to have a little contact sometimes. That's one of the things I don't understand as a defender, the lack of contact on corners or balls in the air. I just recently saw a video where it was Maradona and Pelé. They were at some sort of dinner or something with a bunch of guys talking. One of the few times they're together, and Maradona's talking about the Italian defenders. I'm sure maybe you guys have seen it. And he's like, oh no, the Italian guys, they're always touching you. They're always touching you. And Pelé's like, yeah. He's looking over there and he's here putting his hand on me. And yet you have to have that physical contact. Man, when you go up for a header, if I'm going up and I think I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna go up on you and give you a little bit of a push in the air, not destroy you to get a penalty, but so you feel like we don't get that. They go straight up and the ball
I don't know how to say it in English, but it's jugar con maña. Like you have to be like poking, hitting, touching, like getting sometimes on. Yeah,
it's like playing on the edge. What is the word? Yeah, I don't know the translation, but it's you're on the edge, on the border. You're not cheating, but you're being a little mischievous there. Yeah.
Those are the things that Suarez brings to this team, Debacle brings to this team, Messi all the time. Like those are extracurricular things that impact the game, and you get on people's nerves. That's the thing.
You're trying to get an edge. You're trying to get an edge on the other guys.
That's what happens. That's what happens when some of these players get yellows too, because they just lose their patience because they're getting hit and they're getting poked. And those are things that you learn and you have to be able to do in games. But anyways, unfortunate goal 4-2. You're still in control. And then there was a moment after that. I don't remember exactly 1 minute. We're probably going into the stoppage time where there was a possible penalty at that point, and it ended up not being a penalty. I think it was. I don't know if they reviewed it or what, but that could have become dangerous and become.
That would have made everybody get nervous. That would have made everybody get nervous. It was like, oh no, here we go again. And if that would have happened with the team, what do you do? I mean,
the David Ayala mistake again. You chalk it up. The only real issue in that game was that second goal that Aristizabal scored. But other than that, I feel like overall the team played well. They scored 4 goals, and look, this team isn't anywhere near where they should be. But I think that as fans and as people that report and follow the team, they're going up, and we have to recognize that, right? Like there's been a clear difference between what Mascherano was doing and what Hoyos was doing. As far out as Hoyos is, he's been able to slowly find some good things with his team, especially
defensively. He's tweaked a little bit defensively because the attack has been there so far this season, right? And so he tweaked it a little bit where he calmed things down a little bit on the defense, which is what this team needs. If they're going to aspire to do something when they come back in Leagues Cup, if they're going to aspire to win an MLS Cup, they need to have better defense.
No, yeah, agreed. They have to have better defense. And it's something that's like you said it earlier, Xavi. To me, Maxi Falcon has been the top dog on this team since last season, as far as the defense is concerned. I always loved where he would always be
Plays with a
positionally
lot
in
of
the right
heart.
spots.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of great, and I think it's something you also come to expect from people like players from Uruguay, right? Like Uruguayos, they have a lot of passion and
Uruguay, Paraguay,
all those
Argentina
guys. So,
defenders or
but
center
again,
backs
like
are really good.
sometimes these goal line saves where he, get on the goal line and head the ball out right before it went in and it got past the keeper. Like he was doing really good, but it seems like this season there's been a tiny bit of a drop off. I don't know, maybe more than most people think.
He has a
but
tiny little baby. And I think he's not sleeping, boy. I don't think that hair is enough to like to cuff his ears at night when that baby's crying.
dude. Hey, and so right now, like I agree. I think it's Lujan and Mikael at this point in time.
That's my starting two right now. I mean, that's my starting two, and I'm glad Reglon is back because I really like Noah at center back, and he's very valuable at both positions. But I think he's naturally, and it's funny, right? Because of his size, but he plays a lot taller than he is. He's very athletic, where he jumps.
He puts that gel that becomes hard in the hair, so he can use it.
I don't know what he does, but when he plays center back, I think he like kind of focuses more and positions himself a little bit better, and he does a decent job.
He's got really good IQ. He's got really good football IQ.
He does.
That's important.
He has a nice touch with his left too. He's one of the guys that has the better pass out of the back. Like he does some good passing. Or at least that's what it's been my impression.
Yeah. So I think that this team is on the right track. Again, there's still far to be expected from this team. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Cincinnati game. We don't have to spend a lot of time, especially we're already almost an hour in.
Taking along.
But you good on time, Xavi?
I'm good. I just don't want to bore the audience that we take too long. So let's kick through it and do it.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this Cincinnati game. Obviously, going to be playing tomorrow. What does he say? Tony said just a correction.
39.5.
39.5. Wow. See, there you go. I mean, he's up there. He's older than Messi. I didn't realize that. Messi's 39 in 1 month. Damn. So our top two guys up front right now are almost 40 years old. All right. So Inter Miami versus Cincinnati. It's basically a rematch of the semifinals. The Eastern Conference semifinal last season where we won 4-0. Pat Noonan basically flat out said that they weren't doing anything different to address this game against Inter Miami. That's BS. We all know that. It's just pretending, trying to make it not a big deal. We know they're talking and scheming against how they're going to defend against Messi, what they're going to do if Suarez is there, how to break down this defense. So again, we know that's BS. But on the other hand, at least Kevin Denke was a little bit more forthcoming and truthful, and he said it's a big game. It's because it's Miami, it's Messi. We lost against him in the playoffs last season, but it is basically just a game. But he was more forthright than his coach. So I just kind of want to look at the landscape here. Miami's 0-1-3 at home, but they're 6-1-1 on the road. They're basically road warriors, Xavi. These guys,
100%.
road warriors.
How do you explain that? How do you explain that?
The only way I can explain it, and I've tweeted about this before, is I think this field was built on an ancient burial ground. It's the only excuse. I mean, how else? Maybe it's the pressure. Also, is it the pressure that they're expected?
You're trying to say there's a bunch of like chickens and brujerías and a bunch of crap down there, and that's remember like the Porter guys. One of these days, something's gonna pop up from the ground.
Maybe it was a golf course. Maybe there was a golfer that got eaten by an alligator in one of these lakes or something. I don't know, but I just can't understand why this team plays so good on the road and won't play that as good, at home. Is it also maybe that these other teams are coming in here and they're playing us that much harder? I don't know, but the point is we're 6-1-1 on the road. We beat NYCFC, we beat DC, Colorado, Real Salt Lake.
Hard teams in the road. We need a bruja.
Yeah. And then Messi continues to do crazy historic things. Obviously, he's got 100 goal contributions in 64 regular season matches. He's got 9 goals and 4 assists this season. He's just playing nasty. He's playing disgusting.
9 goals and 4 assists, and he started slow. and he started slow in
And he
Miami.
did. He was being, imagine, he's been criticized heavily by some people. And I mean, but on paper,
Has it been heavy criticism? Like,
there's, well, the criticism was
why
from
no
the
assist?
side, why no assist? I you know,
I wonder if it was
but
an analysis or it was just trying to get clicks or views. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
look, I feel like we're gonna be okay in this game. Honestly, I feel like we're gonna be good. I feel like Inter Miami, especially with an attack that's scoring 4 goals a game against a Cincinnati defense that's conceded 27 goals in 12 games, which is 4th most in the league. I mean, we should go in there and score another 3 to 4. I feel like, but I don't know how are you feeling about this game. I think it should not gonna say it's an easy game. I think Cincinnati is always a tough game, but I feel like Inter Miami is primed to win it. I'm more concerned about the defense than I am about the offense. The offense, I think, is clicking right now. They're going to be able to score. Inter Miami just has to figure out a way to not leave all those spaces in behind and make sure that they don't set themselves up for that counter. I feel like that is the game plan, the blueprint by all these teams. They all do the same thing against Inter Miami. Inter Miami has all these guys up front. Debacle, Yannick Bright, Delasco, all their midfielders are up front. We lose the ball. The opposing team sends 3-4 attackers up front. They play the ball quickly, and they find themselves on a one-on-one against our center backs. Inter Miami has to figure that out. But other than that, I think they'll be okay.
The spacing has been off, and I think it's gotten better the last couple of games. It's like you're saying, the guys, they attack, but the team breaks, right? And the center backs, anybody, they stay so far back, it doesn't move as a unit. And but the pressure, this team is not, I don't think is built to pressure as much as they like to do. I think it needs to be strategic and at moments, but it's been too long. And then also, I think once you're up and you're leading, you need to change the flow, change the pace, drop and force them to come out. Don't always be on the go, because then we open up and we have, Falcon wasn't the fastest guy. That's why I like Lujan to come in, because he has at least some catch-up speed where if they turn him, he can get back into the play. Once Falcon was turned, he was never going to catch up to the guy, ever. At least Mikael, we've seen a couple times where he's caught up too, so he's decent. With Falcon was that his read was so great that he always had good timing, but when they leave him one-on-one, he gets cooked. So
I know how much of that is on the defense and how much of it is
everybody. It's on the midfield. It's on the forwards. It's a team thing. It's not just one guy. But he pops out because he has made some blatant mistakes, just like he did against New York City, the Red Bulls, where he took off. Mikael has Julian Hall one-on-one down the line, about to close him up, and there comes Falcon running with his big hair. And leaves the middle wide open, and everyone's like, "What? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's done a couple of those plays this year, which he didn't really do very often last year. But I think they're getting better. I think that's better team-wise, defending as a team. They need to defend as a team. You can't just have people.
As a team, and it's on the midfield. Like, they just leave too much space, and when you have guys like Kevin Denke up front, I think he's got 5 goals in his last 4 games now. That's somebody we got to Inter Miami's going to have to look out for.
It's going to be a battle. So it's a good matchup. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
I wonder if Suarez is going to start again.
If Silvetti's good, this is going to tell us a lot about Hoyos, right? He made the move. He put Falcon and Lujan switched. He switched them. I think that was a good move on his part. I want to see what he's going to do if Silvetti is 100. If Silvetti is 100%, he should start him. Start him. Let's see. If he doesn't, and he's 100%, and he doesn't get playing time again, then it's going to be interesting.
There's no way he starts over Berter. I mean, obviously, if Silvetti comes in, he's the one. Suarez is coming off. I don't think Suarez is going to start over Berter if Berter is healthy. That would also be very telling in that case. So we'll have to see. I mean, Suarez, 4 of 8 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. I mean, la está rompiendo. Like, he's at the ripe age of 39, a guy that was supposed to be
39.5.
Let's not forget those extra 6 months. Those make a big difference. At that age, I feel like 6 months is already making a big difference. That can be the difference between a backache and no backache when you wake up in the morning. So that that 3 goals, 2 assists in 4 starts is pretty nasty.
His numbers are telling you that he needs to start, but not play the whole 90. Maybe he plays a little less. He's got to tweak it. That's why the philosopher, I call him the philosopher. Hoyles needs to figure it out.
Dude, I love that you brought that up. I honestly wanted to talk about that. That could probably segue us into the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Hoyos, my goodness, what I'm like, is he? I feel like sometimes the media is talking to Plato. Like, is it Plato? Is it Socrates? It's like, I mean, you can ask him. Aristotle. I mean, you can ask him, hey, what do you think about the Big Mac? Is that your favorite burger? And he'll say, it's not about the meat. It's not about the bread. It's about the space between the lettuce and the this. And then he'll talk about something. I mean, he just goes off on these tangents. And
they need to have candles. I'm going to request, please have candles. Have like mist and smell and when so I can get into the mood when he starts talking, because I'm listening to him. I'm like, what the, I understand. I'm not trying to make fun of him. I understand some of it because, and I said it. I think it was just he's like this grandpa that because he says it. He's never stopped being a player. He still feels it. This guy really loves the game,
I mean, and he makes it a thing to remind us every time that he played football. We know,
right. And he loves his guys, right? But he's it's so romantic. It's romanticism with the sport, with the game, and like you ask him a question and it takes it to another place. But he like protects his guys, so he's never going to answer anything. When you ask him about a player.
Things you're not asking him to protect anybody. Let me.
Well, that came out of nowhere. I think with the whole, you have to protect Messi, Rodrigo, Suarez, this type of caliber player because they are the ones that fill the stadiums. They're the ones that are different. And I kind of think that he meant in a appreciate these guys, realize what you have, kind of thing. That's the way I kind of took it, because there's no need for protection, because the press here in the U.S. is nothing compared. Like, let's say the press in Mexico, they get on these guys like crazy, and the press in Argentina gets on these guys like crazy too. Like, and the press in Europe, it's the fans get on them like crazy. So here's kind of soft. Here is pretty soft. And but you try to ask questions that people want to hear and that seem interesting, but they ask him about
dress him up like Walter Mercado, and it would be
no.
Give me Walter Mercado.
He's funny, but I think he's just like the grandpa that's he's stuck in time, right? He's in his mind, he's still stuck to his playing days and the way things used to be, and the way things were before were better than now. How your grandpa always, no, back in my day, this was like this, and and you guys. I think he's still stuck with that.
I think it's frustrating though, because some of these, I understand you got to protect the players. I understand that you don't want to speak ill of them, but some of these questions, the answers don't require you to speak ill of anybody. It just requires you to talk about what's in the actual game. I mean, a simple question was made to him. Hey, how did you feel about the game and you getting scored on? I don't remember the exact question, but it was something about you getting scored on it.
Right. And the day that he answered one.
Yeah, something like
the
that.
conference before this one, the day that they asked one question. The question was, hey, the defense, they've given up 19 goals in 11 games. There was a big investment into this. You had something to do with this, and like kind of like that was the flow of the question. And then he started in his whole speech and blah blah, completely offline. And then
you ask him like, where is the issue with that half or that game? And instead of going into the issue,
that wasn't me. That was Jose Armando. Like he asked.
I don't focus on the bad, only on the good. And it's like, brother, other coaches would say, hey, our line played too high up, or we gave the ball away in the midfield, or so those are things that
maybe that's what he talks about protecting. Maybe he thinks that somebody here said protect was about the pitch invaders. I don't think it's about the pitch invaders, but I think it's more of the way he sees it, the way he feels it, the way he lives it. He thinks that that's the way it should be. and that's the way, you know, the outside, the people should live it or feel it. And he's not in touch with what we are and where he is now, and how people live the sport here. They live it differently than Argentina. They live it differently than Mexico. They live it different than Europe. I don't think about fuera though. Oyo fuera, afuera. I don't know. I don't know if just yet, but this is going to be interesting, Gian. Remember, Tata, you know, Tata, Mascherano, him are his guys. Like, he brought them in, right? So Tata left, Mascherano left. How is it the departure with this guy? Because he's the most intimate, the closest one to with Messi, like in his inner circle, in his inner circle. So I want to see how this is going to end. How is this breakup going to be? You know,
I feel like it's a. Do you feel like it's a predetermined breakup where he's supposed to be interim, and sometime during or after?
It's the girl that knows that she's not the one, but she's just gonna enjoy the time. You know, she likes the guy. You know, okay, yeah. Is
he the Tinder date that was a
or it could be the guy, let me flip it around because I don't want to get attacked by the ladies and stuff. Or it could be the guy that, you know, he knows the girl doesn't really like him, love him, but he loves her, and you know he'll be there until it's time to move on. Whatever, maybe that's what it is.
Look, the transition into this topic and where I wanted to get
I'm sorry, I spent too much time. You know what it was, man? All that driving around and in the rain and stuff has me going crazy now, and all the philosophy from oils has me nuts. So now I'm talking too much.
Do you listen to poetry now? Ever since the oils?
I've always. I used to write poetry when I was a little kid, man. I'm gonna have to look one up. Yeah, it was kind of corny. It was really corny.
Poetry or hip? Or like hip hop.
No, I did. No, actually, the portrait. You know, one of the things when I first was dating my wife, who's my wife now, I wrote her a couple of poems and stuff. So, you know, old school. See, I'm like, I'm old school. I was old school. So now I think it's like me telling these guys now, hey, you guys need to protect the girls. You need to write poetry.
Hopefully she wasn't frustrated with you, like you know, some of these people.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was a little corny, but it wasn't bad.
It's like, all right, the first poem was cool.
It worked. I'm married. I got 4 kids. I'm happily married. I got 4 kids, so it worked.
Like, she writes to you, you know, hey, how are you? And then you write a poem back, and she's like,
but I was the poet and she's an artist, so she actually drew. I had a shirt back in the. I'm wasting people's time here. I'm sorry. I had a shirt that I really loved, and it was like all messed up with holes and stuff already. So the design, the picture, she actually drew it, and I have it somewhere here, like the painting. All right, look,
I'm gonna invite you on again, and you need to wear that shirt.
The shirt is gone. It's gone. The painting. I've been married 20. It's gonna be 26 years. So this was 27 years ago. That shirt doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Either that or it's too small and you don't want to wear
it. But I could find the painting and I'll show it.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. So what I wanted to talk to you about, and we'll end it with this. I know people are probably like, dude, what the hell? You guys are going past.
Taking too long. Sorry, guys.
But
he's never gonna have me again.
But basically, what I want to talk about is the extracurricular stuff going on around Inter Miami, and I'm also curious about this. It's like, does everybody else know about this, or is it just us that are like really plugged in, right? And then we're on X's. There's been, number one, it's the talk about it all revolves around Messi, and it revolves around, is Messi giving us as a local media enough time? Is he giving us interviews, access, that sort of thing? So that's one of the things. And the second thing is, one of the what would you say, not the explanations or the theories, there we go, one of the theories that's been given as to why maybe he hasn't spoken to us, maybe why other players haven't really spoken to us. Suarez spoke for the first time since last season, like I think Debacle, right? Is because some of the local media maybe is too harsh on them or whatever, or maybe because they're asking difficult questions. So my premise is this, right? I want to set the tone for this. My premise is, I think, number one, I don't think that's why. I just think that these are guys that are so far in their careers, that have won so much, that have basically done, well, except for the Ball. I mean, the Ball won obviously World Cup, but not so much.
The Copa America, World Cup. Yeah. He's got his pedigree too. He's got his pedigree.
Yeah, but you guys, these guys have basically done it all. I feel, and I can understand it, while maybe frustrating. They're like, bro, I don't need to talk to him. This is MLS.
At this stage in my career,
I get it, frustrating nonetheless. But I feel like if I was in the shoes, I would probably feel the same way. Like, dude, just send Noah Allen, bro. Just send Frey. You know, like I can understand it. But the notion that some of these they're being protected from harsh press, I don't really go with that. But I also wanted to say this, and this is probably where I'm most interested to get your opinion, Xavi. I'm without naming names, without naming any names. I feel like there are certain media members who I respect 100%, who I think are great journalists, who I enjoy their content. I consume it. I consume their content. Have tried to be so open-minded, so to show that they're objective. There you go. To show that they're so objective, right? That they're not going to always just root for Inter Miami. They're going to look at both sides of it. That they tend to lean a little bit too much to the part where they are constantly criticizing, and they put more content that you could see as negative than they do regular content, just because they've tried so hard to be objective that they don't realize that they've leaned so far to the other side. And I'm going to give you an example of something. You probably remember this, and maybe you were at that press conference. You remember when Mascherano was kicked out, or well, he was suspended, and the next game he was with the phone. You remember that? He was on the phone. And after that game, and
he was on the phone. That game, he went up to the he sat there and he was on the phone during that game.
Exactly. Well, the press conference, I think it was during a practice, there were 3 reporters that absolutely drilled him. They drilled him on it. They told him, hey, how would you feel if another team did this? And he answered it. And then somebody else, yeah, but that's not fair. That why would you do that when another team? And they kept saying the same thing. And to me, it was almost embarrassing, honestly. Like, I felt like pena ajena. I was like, this is embarrassing. This guy even said, like, chicos, o sea, this isn't about me. Let's talk about the team. And they drilled them. Like, you would have thought that they were reporters from another team that were pissed at him or something. So those are the types of things that I'm like, there are some reporters that are trying to be objective, but they don't realize that they've leaned too far trying to prove that they're objective anymore. So I know I said a lot, Xavi, sorry, but
no. You laid it out. It's I mean, you want to have different perspectives. I think in anything you want to have different points of views. You don't want everybody to guy is a full hater. You don't want to have everybody agree. It's boring, right? Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody agreeing with the same thing. You want to have different, some people like chocolate, some people like strawberries, some people like vanilla. I like to try to be respectful, right? When I ask something, I want to be respectful. I want to be ethical. I want to ask something interesting, something thought-provoking. So, and when I get a chance, because you don't always get a chance when you're the lower in the totem pole type people, you don't always get the chance to ask the questions. But when I do, I want to ask, good questions. So I don't want to waste my time on some silly things like that. But I remember clearly when it happened. It's happened all over the world. If you're a soccer guy, you know that the coach is, talking right there and trying to like connect the dots. Yeah, I understand where the fans can be a little bit upset, but if that's how they feel, it's the way that they want to present content or information, by all means, it's up to them, and then it's up to the fans and everybody out there to respond and follow or not follow them. I saw something here. I'm a little confused because you guys can help me because I don't understand. It says Xavi equals Riz Master. I don't get I'm that one. I don't understand. What does that mean?
Look, I'm not that young, but Riz just means that you're good at. Tienes labia. You're good with the
okay. So I guess that's a good thing.
You're a smooth operator.
I just wanted to know, good or bad, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to know because I had no idea.
You're a smooth operator, Xavi. They heard that you.
Oh, that's my song, man. That's my song, Sade. You know that song, right? Smooth operator. You don't know that song? I'm older than you. That's why.
Damn, they just said Unk Pod. They just called us old.
My bad.
Just Unk Pod. You can't be. Look, Sha, you can't be doing that, man. If you don't, if you don't know what Riz is, you need to text me on the side. I'll answer right now.
No. I'm very honest.
You can't
I don't.
publicly.
And I am Unc, but I'm an older guy, man. I just
no,
I
but
just
now
have
you're
a young spirit.
no, but now I'm being lumped into the Unc pod too, man.
No, you're younger. You're younger though. You're a little bit younger.
No,
Guys,
he was kidding. He knows.
You got an old soul though. No, I didn't know. I had no idea what that meant. I should have asked my 18-year-old daughter or my 22-year-old son. Maybe I should have asked them before or after the show. But I was just curious. I had no idea what it meant.
All right, guys. So if you have any more words like Riz or any,
throw them my way. Throw them my. Hey, follow. Look. Give me a follow at XG La Voz if you want Unc material. Yeah. You want Unc material, old man material, and then you can throw me all those words so I can understand what the hell you're talking about.
He does a lot of do you do Messi poetry on
I should. You know, I write at Lemon City Live, one of the local podcasts, lemoncitylive.com. You can go on there and get my what I do. But no, I don't do Messi poetry, but I shall think about it. I like Abra. I know there's a song, so maybe I'll do something. Maybe I'll come up with something.
Oh my God, dude, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, you should definitely do some sort of a poetry.
But I'll protect them in the poetry. I'll protect them. You know,
make sure you protect them. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We don't want to have to hear from Hoyos again talking about reporters not protecting.
The philosopher. Are we going to call him Aristotle, Socrates, or Plato? You guys decide.
Oh, look, we got more. We got more unks in the.
Now look at him, Boss Daddy. That's 85. So. Boss Daddy's name, that nickname came out.
He's older than me. He's older than me. I'm
old. If that's his age, I'm older than him too. So if he's from 85, I'm older than him.
That's funny. So I guess we'll start to end here, but
yeah. Oh my God, we're 2 hours. This is gonna be a show that people are gonna be like, what the hell did we go so long?
Hey, look, we're actually and we're at our count of viewers right now is 305. 305.
Oh, beautiful.
I think that's probably a good sign to end it around now, to keep it at 305.
Yeah. Let's go on a high note. Don't let me show my age on something else now.
So but look, just to end, we'll end, I guess, with how we feel that this team is right now, and then what we expect tomorrow as far as the scoreline, just our predictions. It's always cool to have our predictions, see how we do. But look, I think this team is on the up and up. I'm excited to see the small incremental improvements that this team has made defensively. They're looking better with Lujan there. He's a new guy there, and then Debacle also. I'm happy that Debacle just kind of had a little. He was going down a bit, but lately, I mean, he's been a big part of this team. He can be a bit more, I think, a bit better defensively. But man, he's been really good as far as like passing and that sort of thing. He had he's had a few assists lately. I mean, obviously shooting too. So. I'm just happy how this team is doing, and I think tomorrow, look, I think they beat Cincinnati. I think it's going to be tough to keep a clean sheet against this Cincinnati team, especially playing away, and the fact that they have been playing really well. So I still think this team's going to score. I'm going to go with at least 3. So let's go with a 3-1. I think it's going to be.
Oh man, you got my thing. I'm going to have to do 2-1, but I think that they're right where they need to be because so many things have happened. 2-1, good guys. Yeah, so many things have happened with the team, injuries, the drama, all this stuff surrounding Mascherano left. Now we got the philosopher. So all this stuff going on, and the team is still in the top 4 spots, right? Second, third, whatever. And in the MLS power rankings, they're 6th. I think that's where they need to be. It's awesome. Keep them there so people don't really
undercover. You want them to be undercover.
I want them to like us old people. We need to warm up, right? Unks. So Inter Miami is the group, the Unks team. Well, they need to warm up a little bit. And as the season progresses, that the Bengay starts kicking in and everything else, then you see Uncle Drew where he gets these young guys and just balls them up with his gray hair. Well, that's what Inter Miami is going to do. I think they're just going to continue to improve. They're continue to mesh. Get that defense together. Our guy St. Clair, get a little bit better, get things straight, come back from the World Cup and take it from there. So I'm good. I'm gonna give a 2-1. I wanted to say 3-1. I said 3-1 on another show yesterday, but I think 2-1, like Boss Daddy says, might be more realistic.
Look at Xavi with the slight flex on another show yesterday. Dice Esteban.
Oh yeah. Oh
the slight flex.
That's the us unks, man, like Hoyos.
That's the slight flag. You know, the show yesterday. I got a couple more shows after this one, and then
No. I gotta
they
go to
got
bed early. I can't do any more
like
shows. It's almost, it's
Stephen A.
almost 8
Smith.
o'clock. It's almost 8
It's
o'clock.
almost 8. That's true. You're on Unk time. It's almost time to go to bed. That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Oh my god. All right. Well, this has been fun. Shai, man, I did not expect this to go this far, but the conversation was good. The chat was good. Chat was fired tonight. And yeah, man, so much going on with Inter Miami. Definitely have you back, but thank you again so much for being on here. And
next time I'll be back with the painting my wife did. I owe you guys.
He'll be back with the painting, and he'll be reciting some spoken word.
I might have a slight like a haiku.
A haiku. Haiku. All right, Dale, Xavi, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you being on the show. Thank you, everybody else, for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. You guys know where to catch Xavi too. Lemon City Live, XG La Voz, on X. So make sure you follow his stuff too. All right, guys, take care, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.